That's cool.
Hello and welcome to another video. Now, in this video we're going to take a look at my stats, and in hindsight this should have been the first video I released, but just to update you on where I'm starting and the actual goal of being able to craft everything in the game to tier 8. So I started the videos when I could craft everything to tier 5, and now we are going to check the progress by going through the stats. As you can see, my general stats, I have quite a lot of fame mainly on crafting. Crafting is more than half of my total fame, and I've got quite a lot of fame for gathering also. When it comes to kills, only got 2 kills. One, I remember rightly, I think I was feeling brave at a point. I flagged up Fort Sterling and decided to head south for Lyndhurst and ganked another player while I was doing a dungeon, and obviously got ganked myself. Looking further down my stats, you can see I don't have anything for the Crystal League, but I do have a lot that I contributed to different buildings. Now, let's take a look at the good stuff, my actual stats for crafting. Okay, now let's take a look at the Destiny board, and I am going to start from the top and work my way around clockwise. So the main channel in the center indicates what tier mounts I am able to use along with other stuff. So I've accomplished tier 8, which is pretty standard. So I can now use tier 8 mounts, tier 8 bags, tier 8 capes, and also the tier 8 demolishing hammer, so that's quite helpful. And the next one down, tier 7, etc, etc. So that is pretty standard amongst a lot of players out there to get that unlocked to tier 8. I would say it does take about maybe a month, 2 months to get to tier 8 here. Sorry, that was my phone. Now with the Destiny board, a lot of players, I see streams, I see videos, they concentrate on the left hand side of the Destiny board. Well, my whole MO is the right hand side of the Destiny board. So left is for combats and all of your beautiful combat stuff, and the right is for crafting. Now me as a crafter, I'm going to be focusing on the right hand side of the Destiny board. So let's get into it. I'm going to be zigzagging up and down. Okay, so the first one we come to is plates. Where does it start? Okay, so plate stats here. This one itself is pretty simple. This is tier 3, so craftable. You have to get 480 fame for tier 3 crafting. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now what I've done with mine, I worked up from tier 2 basically, and I'm currently on tier 5, so everything you see in plates is minimum of level 10, and level 10 is tier 5, so I can craft everything in plates to tier 5, and it's so beneficial. It really is, because you have more available to you when it comes to crafting for a profit. You can go back to my previous video if you haven't already seen it. The best tool a crafter can use, the best tool for crafters, and it's a really good tool of finding out how you can make money or make silver through crafting. So having this to tier 5, it just opens up so many doors. And you'll notice that on each individual one, I've specialized in only one item and not gone crazy and done them all. I've done that purposely, so later when I get to a certain level, then I can mix and match or be really good at one thing and maybe not so good at another thing. But again, the goal is to get everything to tier 8, crafting from here. So from level 11 to 16, we're aiming to get all of this to level 100. So that is the plates. Moving on. Next is the levers. So lever, it's you've got archery in here as well. And again, all of these are minimum of level 10, which means I can craft tier 5 minimum here as well. Few items like this one is above level 10 because it's part of my build, it's what I use. So after getting ganked a bunch of times, you kind of need more gear, so I craft my own gear as well. Usually I wear gear 4.1, even though I can craft tier 5 or tier 5.3 if I want to. Now, I don't know what happened here, but I think I'm mainly focusing on this. And you can pretty much see it's all around about the 4 to 6 mark, depending on what item it is and how many times I've crafted it. So yeah, you can see, oh, this is free, that's terrible. I need to do something there. So yeah, oh, 7, look at that number. 8, this is amazing. Yeah, so while you're receiving this news, I'm receiving this news as well, because I don't really take a look at the very edge of the Destiny board too often. When it comes to crafting, I mainly focus on these numbers here. Wow, that's 20, that's awesome. So I've got 10 more levels till I can craft tier 6. So I'm looking for level 30. And I use this as my build, so that's why it's quite high. It just shows you how many times I've got ganked, basically. Yeah, I need 8 learning points for that. So that is, oh, we've skipped it. That is the levers. I'm going into the cloths, I apologize. So with the cloths, same thing as plates, levers. You've got to craft tier 2 X amount of times to get to tier 3. Once you got to tier 3, you craft tier 3 to get to tier 4. And again, with my cloth, everything on cloth is on a minimum tier of 5, so that's level 10. And let's take a look at the outside of the cloth. Now, I did overlaps here earlier with the lever, wasn't paying attention, but yeah, there's some really interesting numbers. So I've got 8, level 8 here, level 7, and then it comes back down to level 4, level 3 over here. And again, I'm just focusing mainly on one certain item. out of the 4 that are craftable, just to get my points up on one particular item, I suppose. Okay, so that was cloths. Let's take a look at tools. Now, tools I'm most proud of. If you did see the stream that I did, I think it was an hour ago, my live stream, you would have noticed that I got all of my tools up to level 30. So I can now craft every tool apart from the demolishing hammer, unfortunately, which is on level 20. But I can craft every other tool to tier 6. And yeah, I was just so happy with that. I had the learning points. I used over 100 learning points to save on materials. And yeah, I got these up to level 30. And I'm very happy with that. Now, the bag I also got up to level 30, but the cape, it is dragging a little bit. So the stone hammer and, not stone hammer, demolishing hammer, sorry, and the cape, I think they're the next 2 items that I'm going to get up to level 30 before moving on to my cloth build and getting that up to level 32. So next up, let's take a look at what I can refine. Now, with the refining, I'm always so blessed because I can refine everything to tier 7 except for my leather. So I need to use 36 learning points, but I never use learning points on this. I just let it happen naturally, and I don't even need tier 7 refined right now. But I might get into that if I decide to focus on gathering one specific resource just to make a profit. So I might get into that later, but as for now, I am so happy with that. It's more than I need. Tools, so tools that I can use. I can use everything to tier 6 except for 2 items. So there is the Skinner. So I'm 21 learning points away from being able to use that tool, and also the fishing rod. So I think it's this one here. Yeah. So I'm quite a few levels away. So let's just do this. I really shouldn't do that, but just did. So I am 10 levels away from using the tier 6 rod, and yeah, I'm looking forward to being underground in Callion with a tier 6 rod. Yeah, so let's get into farming. Now, farming is on my private island. I do all my farming. And for animals, I'm so close to level 50, but at the moment, I can use and craft tier 6. So I can use tier 6 animals, and I can craft tier 6 animals. And one thing I really want to get up is this one right here. So it's the rare animals. I'm on level 1, it's going to level 2 soon. As you can see, I've worked with a lot of chickens, oxes and horses, so raising that. The next one is going to be the food or farmings, which is the crops. This is on level 82, so I can use up to tier 7. And with the carrots, I've just gone crazy. As you can see, 22, level 22 on the carrots, and just kind of getting into the tier 7 a little more, and trying to level this up. So it's on level 1 at the moment. So I'm working on the corn, and yeah, everything else here I'm pretty satisfied with. I do need to do a lot of work, but it's okay for now. And the last one for farming, and this is the herbs. So I'm on level 61, so I can use up to tier, what is that, 6, tier 6, and similar thing here. I'm pretty happy with the results that I've got right here, but I am going to work on that more. Now, for crafting food, I'm on level, I don't even know what level that is, 56, okay. So again, tier 6 food, I'm able to craft, and yeah, I've been making a lot of omelettes, soup, mainly things for the workers on the buildings on the Guild Island. And yeah, just chopping down that raw meats, and with the butcher, that's quite helpful that I've got level 6 on that. Potions, so tier 5 with potions. I need to work on this more. Not very impressive with the levels, but yeah, again, I do need to work on that. Now, let's take a look at the combat, because a lot of people work with combat and it's their number one or main priority within the game. And for me, it's just not. It's going up slowly and I'm happy with the progress. So I'm going to go over my builds and not every aspect on the Destiny board. So this is what I use in my builds. I use the Guardian helmet right here. So I can use up to tier 7, which is quite helpful. And I'm on level 43 with that. Let's go and see what else is in my build, because a lot of these are just on 0 and I can't use level tier 4 on that, so it's quite embarrassing. But I'm going to focus on my build, so it's not levers, spear, here we go. So I use a tier 4.1 spear, and let's see what I can use. I can use up to tier 7, and the level I'm at here is 43, which is very helpful. Gives me the bonus, and I use a torch. Again, I can use that up to tier 7, which is again helpful, and that's on level 66. And sandals, so I use cloth shoes, just the standard ones, the standard sandals, and again I can use this up to tier 7, and my levels for this is 38. It's not bad, but I have been playing around with some not enchanted, but relics, I think you call them. And I also use cloth for my armor, just the usual robe here, but I do have a tier 5.3 Kiltus robe as well, so I do switch back and forth between them. And let's see what the levels are like here. 9, okay, that's helpful, and 34. That's also helpful. And yeah, that's everything on the left hand side of the Destiny board that I actually use to date. So those are my stats, and I do look forward to building up the right hand side of the Destiny board to tier 8. Join me on this journey. Give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss out on any of the new upcoming content. And for now, Esco out. Peace.